Okay, quick music disclaimer here. I do not own the rights to this music, which belongs to the rightful owner, who is the intoxicating mind of Dr. Frankenstein. So he made my intro and my outro, and I hope you guys enjoy. Check them out on Spotify and YouTube, and no copyright infringement is intended. Have a good day.
Clear choice of good versus evil, of right versus wrong.
Twisted Tales.
All right, welcome back, folks. So, I appreciate you guys tuning back into Twisted Tales here. Now, tonight, I have a very special guest. His name's Jason, and he actually runs, him and his friends run a group called Haunts from the Cape. Now, I did a recent coal mine episode, and yeah, so we got to talking about like some coal mine stuff, some ghosts, and there's a few other haunted places that I covered a few episodes, like long ago, that we're gonna recap and talk about here. So, here it is. I hope you enjoy. There we go. All right. So, this is my buddy Jason here from Haunts from the Cape. And I did a previous coal mining episode here, and I wanted to get into like a little bit of ghost stories. So, me and Jason been trying to, link up and everything, but with work and other bullshit. So, we got some time today. So, what's up, buddy?
Hey man, it took, like I say, it took us a little while to have our schedules match up here, but yeah, no, it's good to finally talk to you. And like I say, it was good. It gave me a chance to take some notes and write down a few things, and because it's been 10 years of myself and my buddy Doug started Haunts from the Cape in 2014. So there's a lot happens in 10 years, and as I get older, my memory gets worse, it appears.
I know all about that, buddy.
Yeah.
So you said you joined that, or you guys created that in 2014. What made you do that?
Yeah. Well, that was what was funny, because I worked for Scotsburn Dairy here for almost 17 years, and one of the stores I called on was Superstore, where Doug was he was the nighttime manager. And so at 5 o'clock in the morning, when I would ring the buzzer to get in to go fill up the milk shelves, Doug was the guy that let me in. And other than that, I didn't really know him all that well. We'd, shoot the shit briefly in the morning, and that would be it. And I guess at some point on Facebook, we became friends. And I posted something paranormal, and not 5 minutes later, he messaged. He's like, "Are you into that stuff?" I'm like, "Yeah." He said, "You want to start a group?" I'm like, "Fuck, absolutely." So I was waiting for someone to ask me that. But anyway, so yeah, we started that in June of 2014, and like I say, we started the little Facebook group, and it kind of took off, man. I can't even think of how many people are on there currently, but we're in the thousands.
That's good.
Yeah, no, it's great, man. It's been a lot of fun, and like I say, getting to talk to people and learning a lot of history that we didn't really know about here on Cape Breton. So it's pretty interesting. We love investigating the history just as much as the paranormal. So it's pretty awesome, man.
Oh yeah, no, there's a lot of history in Cape Breton too. Like you think about it, like the Miners Museum, there's that. What else is there? There's like Kelly's Mountain and shit like that.
That's right. You think Broughton, you think Fortress Louisburg, you think Black Brook. You think, like say, you said Kelly's Mountain. There's stories from Kelly's Mountain. There's a ton of stories from Membertou. We have a whole lot of stuff planned for Membertou. The legends, the stories up there are amazing. And I'm gonna eventually, like you say, you got me on the Riverside. I didn't know what it was, so you told me about it. But I got an account ready for Haunts from the Cape, and I'm going to do an interview with a gentleman named Jerome Basque, who's from Chapel Island. And you want to hear some of the stories he has, man.
Oh, I bet. Like, there's pretty cool stories, man. Like, even that museum, like, whole, when I was looking at the article for that, I found you, and then you were down in the mine doing everything with that, which was, like, think about all the explosions and
all that, like
Yeah,
even like the cave-ins, fucking mining disasters, what have you.
yeah,
How many deaths that occurred from whenever they
and
started doing mining originally in Cape Breton?
yeah, and it's funny too because I think we thought about the Miners Museum, and I think Doug either called Mary Pat, who runs it, or I can't remember if he called her or emailed her or something. But anyway, and we started telling people about it, and they're like, well, why would that place be haunted? Like the mine that is in the museum wasn't actually a functioning mine. This was just made specifically to show you the daily life of a miner, like what they have to go through. And anyway, and it's hilarious too because I'm extremely claustrophobic.
Mm-hmm.
So Mary Pat almost had to hold my hand to get me to go down there. I finally did, but it was hilarious. But we got in there. We're talking to Mary Pat, and she's telling us all these stories about she'll be in the office, sometimes alone, sometimes with other people. Do nothing for them to hear, doors open and close, things fall off shelves. She said there's a lot of crazy stuff that happens in there. And we're like, well, I'm trying to think, why would this place even be haunted? And then she said, well, listen, she said, let me show you this place. So she takes us down to the cage. And we're looking, and there's shelves and shelves and shelves of artifacts, boxes with, I don't even know what's in half of them. But yeah, she said, here's a miner's helmet that was on a miner's head when the explosion occurred. The helmet, oh, it's crazy. The helmet was twisted. And like, I'm like, the guy that was wearing this is dead. Like, I mean, it's so the energy that's attached to not all the stuff, but a lot of the stuff that, you can't, like you say, you can't kill energy, right?
No.
So the energy stays behind. So we decided I think we went out there first by ourselves and did a little investigation. And we got some pretty cool stuff, some pretty cool EVPs, some great K2 hits and stuff like that down in the cage. So we said, well, why don't we do some public tours and raise some money? And we don't take any of the money. So anything we told Mary Pat, anything you raise is yours. We're not gonna charge. We don't charge for anything we do. I
No.
know some groups do. We're
Mm-hmm.
just not about that. We want
You get your exposure. You get fucking to see new things too.
100%. And like I say, man, I want my kids to be able to, enjoy the Fortress of Louisbourg and enjoy the Miners Museum. And even to, at some point, if they could get something at Broughton, like some sort of plaque or something, I want my kids and even their kids to know about these places and be able to experience these places. So that's what every bit of money that we raise, we don't want it. Like, take it back. The only thing that costs us a lot of money is batteries. You know what I mean? For
So
that's our battery budget.
yeah, that's all for the equipment and whatnot.
Oh yeah, yeah. We go through a ton of batteries.
Oh, I bet. So like, what brought you on for like your love of like ghosts and ghost hunting and shit? Like just the whole historical fact of it, or
Oh, like you mean like when I first started liking the paranormal and that?
yeah,
Oh yeah. Well, see, I'm an '80s baby. I was born in 1980. So growing up, I had unsolved mysteries and I had sightings and all these cool shows. But also my mom, who was born in Newfoundland, she lived there till she was 10, and then she moved over here. But anyway, the story she told me when I was a kid about from when she was a kid, they scared the shit out of me. But I loved it. I was fascinated. I needed to hear more. Um, like my dad laughs. My dad's not a believer at all in this stuff, but he thinks it's pretty cool. All the stuff that, like when he sees me on the news or hears me on the radio or sees pictures of Doug and I and the whole group out at the fortress, he thinks it's pretty cool. But he said there was a lot of nights that I would sleep with my light on, or he'd find me in the bathroom, like crying at like 3 a.m. because I'm terrified that the alien's going to get me because I watch too much Unsolved Mysteries or, all that shit, right?
hmm
Anyway, I've been, ever since I was a kid, fascinated. Never really had any crazy experience until I was around 17.
yeah,
Had a few experiences in and around where I grew up at East Bay. But yeah, like I say, so that was it, man. And I'm also insanely crazy about history. Um, I love our local history here. Every time I drive by an abandoned house or if I see an old wall from an old factory or mill or something, I have to stop and look at it. So yeah, that's basically what dragged me into it.
Oh, that's very cool, man.
Yeah.
Like, what would the experiences be that you had, like growing up, like little like
Wow.
hauntings or like not hauntings, but
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
little
And,
shit
and I
moving
can't.
around or.
Oh, for sure. And I can't tell you for sure that I've seen a ghost.
Mhm.
Um, I've seen some crazy shit. But it was 1997, and I went with my brother-in-law and his buddy to paint an old house in East Bay. Excuse me. And
Bless you.
anyway, so they told me that this house we're going to paint is haunted, and I was like, oh shit, I'm in. And anyway, I didn't know if they were joking or not, or just messing with me, but I had heard from a few people around that this was the oldest house in East Bay. It was used as people would like stop halfway through the journey and crash there and different things. So anyway, we went and staging was set up, and my brother-in-law and his buddy were on one side of the house, up the very top painting around the attic, and I was on the other side of the house, up painting around the bathroom window. The family that was renting there had left; they were gone to town, so it was just us there. And as I'm painting around the bathroom window, I see somebody walk by the window.
Oh,
And I don't want to be that perv who was staring in the bathroom window. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just climb down. I'll, have a smoke break and not be a perv.
yep.
So I walk. By the time I got down, walked around, and I looked up, and my brother-in-law and his buddy are all the way up on the top. And I looked, and I'm like, which one of you guys were just in the bathroom? And they looked at each other, and they looked down at me, and they're like, there's no way we could have got up here that fast. And they kind of laughed, and his buddy, my brother-in-law's buddy's like, it's probably the ghost, and he's dead serious when he says it. I kind of laughed and chuckled and just kind of like, just thinking, it must have been something else. So anyway, I'd say half hour later, the boys need to run in and get some paint. So they say, all right, we're going to leave you here. Just fart around, do whatever until we get back. I said, yeah, no problem. And I would say I probably had another smoke and hung around outside, but at some point I'm like, I really have to use the washroom. And I didn't want to do it outside. So I'm like, no one's home. I'm just going to sneak upstairs, use the washroom, come right back out. And if anyone comes, I'll just tell them, hey, just had to really use the washroom. Not that they would care anyway. Um,
Mm.
but, so I go in upstairs, use the washroom, flush the toilet, open the door, and downstairs I hear cupboards opening and closing. I'm like, oh, they must be home, from in town, putting groceries away, whatever. So I come down and I'm walking in the hall to go into the kitchen, fully expecting to see the mother and the kids there. Nobody there. Cupboards were all closed, but I'm telling you, man, cupboards were opening and closing. I could hear them clear as anything. Uh, hand on the Bible. Anyway, so I went back outside, just kind of shook it off. But that was one of the first things that kind of happened. And one thing that I kind of jumped over there too. When we first got there, and we were talking to the family. There were some kids that are sitting there playing Nintendo 64. So I kind of walked over to see what they were playing, and I'm watching them play, and little fella sitting on the floor of the controller, and all of a sudden the TV turns off. And he looks at me, he's like, oh shit, the lady turned the TV off again. And I'm looking at him like, the lady turned the TV off. And he sees his mother kind of telling him to shut up. So I'm like, all right. So there might be a little bit something more to that, but that was that would be my first experience in '97 that I had. That kind of took me you know, into the paranormal world a little bit more than I already was. And the next summer, I graduated high school. So myself and my cousin and my best buddy, we after I got my license, we were everywhere, back roads, you name it. That's where we went. So we were cruising up through Glen Morrison Road one night. If you leave East Bay, heading towards like Howie Center, and there's Morley Road
Yeah,
that
yeah.
takes you up, yep, to cut across to like Marion Bridge. So up a little ways, there's a turn that goes. It was Glen Morrison Road. Now I think it's Meadows Extension. But anyway, we're just cruising, just drinking some coffee, smoking some cigarettes, listening to some music, cruising along, and we turn down. All of a sudden, we come around this turn. There's this creepy old tree, and we're all like, "That's a pretty creepy fucking tree." And all of a sudden, we see this driveway, and my cousin's like, "There's a driveway there." So I stop, and I'm driving like a 1990 Toyota Tercel hatchback,
Yeah.
just like a little micro machine. Anyway, I'm like, I'm going up. So through the alders and the grass, this car was a weapon. So we drive up to see what's up there, and all of a sudden, there is this creepy old ass house sitting there. And it looks like something out of a horror movie.
Oh shit.
And anyway, so we're like, okay. So the first thing I think of is I need a tape recorder. I need a tape. So wanted to put a tape recorder in to see if we could catch anything. So my cousin's like, my sister has one. Let's go back. We'll grab that. I had a tape. I made sure it was a new tape, so there was nothing on it, so nothing would interfere, right? I was already thinking ahead. So we went back, put the tape in, left. We just drove down the road a little bit and hung out for the 45 minutes and went back to pick up the tape. So we went back, parked the car. It's just starting to get dark now. So we go in. I'll never forget it. You go in, and the stairs they're falling apart, basically. So they're kind of like, it was not safe for all of us to be on the stairs, but anyway, we were.
Just rotted it out.
Oh, just rotting and just like kind of leaning to one side. But we had the tape recorder set up there, so we had to go up. So we went up and flipped the tape and all that. And anyway, we grabbed the tape so we could listen to it. So we went back down. We're sitting in my car, and I popped the tape in the deck, and we're listening, and on the tape recorder, for whatever reason, there's just this incessant clicking sound. So it's just click, 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 and it's almost hypnotic. So we're listening to it, and I'm leaning forward, listening to it come through the speakers, just this click. And then all of a sudden, through the tape, this big boom comes through, and we all kind of sit up. So I put the high beams on to illuminate the house because it just scared the shit out of us, right? Mm-hmm. And on the top, there's this wine color curtain blowing out of the top window. And we all looked at each other and were like, wine curtain. So just so we all knew this is what we just saw. So anyway, we're freaking out a little bit, but not too bad until we go back in up the stairs and we come around the turn to grab to put the tape recorder back in, and we look. And dude, I'm telling you, there wasn't even a curtain rod to hold a curtain above this window. There was absolutely nothing. So the wine curtain that we saw coming out the window, man. All three of us saw it.
And then it wasn't there anymore.
No, there was nothing there. There wasn't even a curtain rod to support a curtain. So we started freaking. I still have the cassette tape. You can hear us. We start cursing and swearing like, oh, there's no fucking curtain. And you hear it, and all of a sudden you just hear us running down the stairs. You hear we put the tape back in, hit record, and you just hear us screaming, and we run down the stairs, and you hear the fan belt on my poor little car screeching as we peel out of there. But yeah, that was just one. I could talk about Glen Morrison all night too, but that could be a whole episode in itself. I did a few little podcasts, episodes on Glen Morrison, and yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite places to go. Like I say, it's just one of those places we found by mistake, and not saying every place you find is haunted, but it just so happened that this one seemed to be pretty haunted.
Oh wow, yeah, like you find lots of crazy stuff back there too, in like the middle of nowhere too. There was a place me and my buddies used to go. We smoking a joint there one night. Where the fuck was this? Down on Horns Road? Does that sound familiar to you?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
There was a church down on Horns Road there.
Yeah.
So we were out there. My buddy was having some beer. We were driving around, whatever, right? And fucking, we smoked a joint, and there was like no light on in that church. And then like after we finished the joint, like we had a couple beers. We looked in, and there's like a whole fucking ass candle like lit in the window. I'm like, what the fuck? Like that was not like that before.
Creepy, man. I know what place you're talking about too, but I remember there was that one on Horns Road. I don't know if it's still there or not.
There's a cemetery there. I think what the fuck was that cemetery built in? Like 16? No, it was.
Jesus, I'm not sure, man. That's the one before you get to Myra Gut, right?
Yeah.
Because you go down Horns Road. There's the church. You hit Myra Gut, and you turn left towards Port Morey, and that's where like Blackbrook Cemetery would be down the road that way. But there's also
this was down around Caribou Marsh area, maybe going that way. Fuck,
okay. The Caribou Marsh, that's out Myra.
Maybe that's not the right way. It's been a while since I've been home, buddy.
Well, yeah, oh, for sure. And there's a lot, like I say, there's a lot of, an awful lot of cemeteries around too. But, yeah, no, there's a ton out there, man. And like say, when you're on your way, like I say, when you do Horns Road to Myra Gut, you take a left and start driving. You pass Blackbrook Cemetery, but before that, you pass the road to go to South Head. I'm sure you've heard of the Christ Church, where all the kids used to go. You drive down this dirt road, and there's this old church, and there's a crazy old man that used to fire a shotgun in the air to scare all the kids away that went there.
No, I've never heard that.
No, no. I remember. I think it was 1999 or something, because this is when I first discovered Blackbrook Cemetery. But
Really?
someone said we got to go here. They said they say this church is haunted, and so they said let's go out on Halloween. That was a bad choice, because there must have been 15 to 20 cars. So I understand completely why this old man would be pissed off. Because if I lived down there too, you got kids throwing shit out the windows and cursing, swearing, and hollering and flying down the road.
Breaking molds and everything else.
That's what I mean, right? And because, some people are genuinely interested in this stuff, and there's other people who just want to be pricks and throw garbage and, just ruin it for everybody else.
Well, that's right.
But no, and we've never actually investigated down there. We've heard some stories, and we've heard some other people say it's all just bullshit. But at some point, I'm sure we'll get down there but we're not trying to, if we shouldn't be trespassing there, we're not going to trespass there. We don't do that either.
No, that's
especially if there's signs up, and I don't want to bother the people that are down there. I'm 44 now. When I was 20, I might have done it, but now I'm just like I can't do that to somebody else. They're trying to
live their life and enjoy their property and stuff, right?
Yeah, I'm old now, man. I say I'm more and more like my dad. It's scary. But yeah, so there's all kinds of cool places around, man. But the miners was awesome, man. But getting back to that, 'cause I know you had the episode about the coal miners, the accidents and all that stuff.
Cool, man. We can make this into shit. It's cool. This is why I wanted to
for
talk.
Sure. Jump back and forth, yeah. But like I say, it's cool too. Like I say, we 1 second now. I gotta refer to my notes here. I'm also gonna put my spectacles on and check this out. But there was where was that my spectacles, man? Here was that mine disaster. So there was a mine disaster, and
that was
12 men were killed. It was in the 70s or something.
Yeah, 1979. That was the number 26.
Yes, that's it. So 12 died, but 10 died there. 2 more died in the hospital. So on one of these tours, one of these nights, we're down there, and it was myself and Doug was there, of course. I think Brandon, my buddy who's from Glace Bay, Brandon Ellis, he and I were over in one corner. We had the K2 meters, and there's all these boxes on the floor, and the K2 meters started going crazy, and they pick up electromagnetic fields. So a lot of electricians will use them when they're trying to wire a house or find wiring, or like our phones set them off, so they're easily triggered, right? So we have to make sure that there's nothing. Whenever we get a reading, we try to debunk it immediately, so it's not. We know it's it can be explained away, but all of a sudden there's these boxes in the corner, and the K2 meters start going absolutely crazy. And Mary Pat comes in and she's looking, and one of the other workers that was there at the time, Malcolm, we're looking and we can't find anything. There's no wiring, like she said, there'd be nothing there to cause this. And anyway, she said, we're in the middle of a tour, so she said, I'll have a look on Monday morning and see what's in these boxes. And she said, I'll let you guys know. He said, yeah, that's fine. But while this is happening, we're getting EVPs and we keep hearing the number 10. And we don't really know what it's referring to. So anyway, tour's over and we left. And Monday, Mary Pat gets a hold of Doug and I, and she's like, you're never going to believe this. She said, we opened those boxes, and in the boxes, there were old newspapers. And the first one I pulled out was mine explosion kills 12, but the 10 men died in the mine. So she says, we kept hearing 10. 10 died, 10 died. So that was, just one of those things that, like, if we're asking questions or if we're inquiring about the mine or how many people died, we ask that a lot. And like, yeah, and like 10 came through, but we didn't know what it meant at the time. So to have something factual like this kind of blew us all away a little bit.
Well, I would imagine so. I mean, that's pretty cool to have like the ghost communicating through your equipment and shit.
Yeah, and that's what we try to do, right? Like everything, because like we use spirit boxes when we're there or when we're anywhere, and a spirit box basically scans AM and FM frequencies. So while we're using it, you'll hear like the local radio stations come through. Like it's nothing. So we're looking for something else, like anything else in between that. So we've asked questions. Like the very first night we ever went out, we went to Blackett's Lake, where there's been a few deaths here and there. And anyway, we're walking along the beach the very first night, and I asked the question, "Where are you from?" As soon as I asked the question, the man replied and said Blackett's Lake. So you think of that, and it wasn't a radio station, because what are the odds at that very second someone on the radio randomly said Blackett's Lake as I asked the question, "Where are you from?"
Yeah, that's not
So
good.
it's not going to happen.
No.
So anyway, even my wife, who was a massive skeptic, thought that was pretty cool. But that's what we do. We try to debunk everything, because you cannot believe everything that happens. Not everything's a ghost. Not every place is haunted. We've been to places where we've set up and sat for hours and hours with absolutely nothing. So if we had, if that was a Ghost Adventures episode, they would have been canceled after the first episode was done, because nothing would happen. Like those shows are all done up, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's all for the viewer shock value. Well, not shock value, but like all the viewer and everything, right? To make it
Oh,
feel like something.
100%. They want to scare the shit out of you. They want you to think there's a ghost around every corner.
Well, this is why I like your YouTube, right? Because like I have it subscribed on my Twisted Tales account,
Yeah,
and yeah, like I watch your videos, man, and like I like how you slow it down at the end, because like when it goes
that's
by, it's just a normal pace, but you slow it down at
yeah.
the end, so that way it kind
I
of you get an interesting understanding.
Oh, for sure. But I can't take any credit for the YouTube. All the work that's Doug. My 12-year-old son has more technological knowledge than I do. So Doug does all the work when it comes to the YouTube. But like you said, that's what he does. I love it, because he started doing that, playing at first, and then like you said, the second round is slowed down so you can kind of get a clearer shot of what's happening, right?
Hmm.
But yeah, no, I love it. Doug does a great job with that. Like if it was up to me, like I'm I don't have the patience for it.
No,
I'm too
like
old. I don't want to learn new stuff.
I hear you, and like trying to learn to edit and all this shit here. Like I'm on this Riverside
Yeah,
app that me and you were on. It's actually a good fucking app. Like
yeah,
it's not bad. Like you can figure your
no,
shit out rather quick. Take some time, a few episodes,
for
whatever, but
sure. Yeah,
it gets
reviews are
there.
pretty good on it so far.
Yeah, no, I got no issues with it. I hated it when it first came out, but now it's got its glitches out and everything, so it's
Yeah,
not bad.
awesome. Yeah, once you get used to it, right?
Oh yeah, no.
But yeah, no,
Your
that's
equipment and all that shit though. Where'd you pick up all that at? Just online, or like did you have?
yeah. Like I say, I think Doug was the first one to get some equipment. I think he just grabbed a ghost hunting kit he found on Amazon or somewhere. And like you say, just over the years, we've picked up different pieces. I got a REM pod, a couple of years ago. A couple things I got from the States. I didn't realize they were coming to the States at the time. So it cost a little bit more than I thought it would. Anyway, I didn't care. I was happy to get it, but it's expensive. Um, but like I say, we have all this gear, but you don't need all this stuff to do an investigation. Like we've gone places with our K2 meter, a recorder. We have an app on our phone called Echo Box, that we've been using for just about 10 years. And I will tell you, most apps are garbage. We've tried a lot, and there's a lot that are just for fun. They are fun. They're fun to use. Like when we go to Lewisburg and stuff like that, there'll be people that'll show up and they'll be, oh, I have this app, and it's just they're for fun. But the Echo Box app, I'm telling you, man, a lot of the EVPs you'll hear on YouTube, are from the echo box, which is basically just a word generator that kind of just spits out the phonetics of sound.
Yeah.
So we'll ask a question and hope to get a response. A lot of times we won't get anything because it just sounds like 1,000 people talking at the same time. So it's just all this jibber jabber. And the odd time you'll ask a question and get a direct response, and it blows your mind. But it's worked for us. Like, it's funny too because the only place we'll get French voices is at the Fortress of Louisbourg, oddly enough, where we'll hear French voices coming through in the echo box. We won't get them anywhere else. So I'm like, if we went to Broughton, there's nobody, there's no one speaking French to us, but there was so many people out there that spoke French. It's 95% French people there. Yeah, that's where the only place we'll ever get French responses. None of us speak French, which is kind of funny. But when we're there, there's usually like a worker or there'll be someone in the group who will say, hey, like, do you speak French? And so what we'll do is we'll just kind of say, I'll ask a question in English. They'll ask the same question in French. Sometimes they'll answer us in English. Sometimes they'll answer us in French. So we'll get someone to translate. Yeah, so we'll get someone to translate. We've got some crazy stuff out there too, man. My God. If you ever get home in the summer, you should come out with us to one of these events that we do. But it's nuts. The jail, we've got an EVP at the jail. Doug was in there by himself, and he asked the question, what did they do to you in here? And a woman's voice came through and said, beat me. So we went to Kyle, who's the head honcho out there, and we're like, Kyle, would there have been women in the jails here back then, in the 1700s? He said, absolutely. He said, if you were arrested for, say, prostitution, or if she stole something, they would just throw her in the jail with the men. Oh, no way. Wow. So things like that, like the woman's voice saying they beat me, like, come on, so yeah. So anyway, man, it's been a long 10 years since they would, like, now with it's harder to get out now. We get kids playing sports and doing this every week, so it's tough to get out, but we're always on the Facebook page or YouTube, or if someone wants to ask a question or tell us a story or ask us if we've investigated a certain place, we're always up to hear about something new for sure.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Like how I got interested in how I actually did the Broughton episode or whatever, the coal mine town or whatever.
Yeah.
That's how I heard of you, because
okay.
It was the haunts from the Cape there that you guys went over that way. You guys did what was it? You guys did an episode on that too, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We've got a ton of EVPs from out there, but we did like a little Zoom call on the history of Broughton.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember that in my last episode, and I remember, well, not my last episode, but a few before it. I remember that you guys had the equipment and everything out there, and I think that's how we started messaging, because one of your buddies said that I mentioned you in the podcast or Haunts on the Cape or something.
That's how I found you. He sent me this. He's like, have you heard this? And I'm like, no, I haven't. And I listened to it, and I'm like, holy shit. And like saying that's, I think after that, I subscribe to your channel, and I drive Monday to Thursday for work. So every time you're dropping new episodes, I'm downloading them for my daily travels.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I appreciate that.
It's all good, man. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Like, there's what was there? One more thing here. Oh shit, yeah. The houses that were around the Miners Museum, like, they had different bunk houses and shit there. You said you traveled through there. How did that go?
Yeah. So the house that they have, the company house that they have on site there at the Miners Museum.
That's it.
It wasn't actually one that people lived in. Again, it was kind of like a replica, like just to show you the daily life of a coal miner family and etc. And so we went in, but there's so many artifacts and things in there that we've gotten some really cool EVPs. And there's even they say there's the ghost of a woman in white that haunts the upstairs. So I had, who was it to tell me the story? They had a friend that went there, and it was like a Friday afternoon, and they went in and they were by themselves. There wasn't a whole lot of people there, so said that she went over to the company house and there was no one in there, and so she's kind of walking through, like checking out all the displays and reading everything. And so she went upstairs, and as she went upstairs, she thought she heard someone cough. So she stops and she listens. She can't hear anything. She shouts hello. Nobody there. So she turns and looks, and there's this woman in white standing in one of the bedrooms. And she said, I wouldn't have thought anything of it really until I realized that I could see right through her through the window. And I guess she basically lost her shit and screamed and took off down, I think about 3 steps she was down and out the door, and ran back and told the tour guide. And the tour guide was basically like, all right, kind of calmed her down and said, listen, we've had a few reports of, something similar, but it's fine. She's not evil in any way, shape, or form. It must be someone attached to it, because there are dresses on display. So it could be someone who owned the dress, or someone who, could have been her bed that they have in one of the rooms. Who knows, man?
So that would be what's holding the spirit there.
That's what I'm thinking. Something, she's attached to something that's in the house. Who knows what it is? Like I say, next time it's been a while since we've done. COVID kind of sent the world on a tipsy-turvy downward spiral. So, nothing's been the same since. But we've talked to Mary Pat. We hope to get back into doing those again, because my God, they're fun, man. We have small groups, maybe 20, 22 people tops, 2 different groups. But we have a laugh, and we talk to people, and I want to hear their stories, and we want to hear, any experiences they've had, we want to hear about. And, like I say, they want to hear about stuff we have, and any equipment we take with us, we usually let people use. Like, we'll show them how to use it, and we'll send them off and say, here, go over there and investigate. So give them a first-hand experience. But it really is, man. It's a hoot. We love doing it, and raising money to help in any way we can. That's just a bonus.
Well, yeah, that helps everybody involved too, right? I mean, that
Yeah,
gives you guys the experience. It gives them some help to figure this shit out financially, and it's a
exactly.
good thing to do
100%, man.
something like that, man. You're a good guy, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, that's, and it's just something I would feel bad taking money, because we're not there to say, oh yeah, this place is haunted. Give us $500 and we'll clear the place for you. We don't know what the hell's here, man. Like, I'm not gonna, like, we could, yeah, we're not rolling in with proton packs like the Ghostbusters, and give us $1,000, we'll figure this shit out for you.
The entrapment, that'll be $2,000. That'll be 2 big ones.
Exactly. Yeah. We got 2 ghosts. They're in here. Don't look, but I swear to God, they're in there. But yeah, that's going to cost you $5,000. But we couldn't do that, man. We love to give the money back. Like I say, to preserve the history. We go to the Forts of Lewisburg, same thing. We don't go there to make money or to charge them any money. It's for people to come out and hear some ghost stories and have fun and be involved and take our ghost hunting equipment and, have experiences for themselves, so they're good to go, right? But that's basically it.
Yeah, no, you're the first show you had there at the Miners Museum that actually sold out, eh?
Yep. I think most of them sold out, but like I say, it's small crowds, but it's great. I like the small crowd better than the big crowd, because it's more, it's more intimate, and you can, it's harder with a group of 30 or 40 people, because it's, trying to keep everyone involved and entertained is a bit challenging at times.
Yeah, no, I totally get that.
Yeah.
Even like, it's cool having the smaller groups too, so that way you can give somebody their equipment they can hand off, then they can pass it to the one behind them, you know what I mean? Figure it out, set off into groups or
Yeah.
something, right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, like I say, and everyone's great to bring the gear back to us. We collect everything, make sure that nothing's broken, but no, everyone's been great. We've had great experiences overall.
Good, that's awesome, man. That's what you need. Minus,
Yep.
A couple changes of underwear here and there.
Exactly, man. Sometimes you get a good fright. We haven't investigated anywhere that scared us too bad to the point that we're like, okay, we got to get the hell out of here. But I will tell you, there's a spot, Hospital Road. It's in Point Edward. we investigated a ton there back in the day. A lot of World War II stuff in there, like there's pillboxes and you can still see trenches and different buildings and stuff that were there then. Whatever's in there, there's something that scared the crap out of us one night. So to the point where we're like, it wasn't the mosquitoes that chased us out. It was something that obviously didn't want us there. So we packed up our shit and left.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bad
It's not often
mojo.
that happened. Yeah. We just got the feeling like, I don't think we're wanted here. So we were asking questions through the spirit box, I think at the time. And you're getting a lot of leaves and get out and go and anyway, yeah, so it was pretty creepy. It's been a while since we were there though.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's fucking cool, man. That's wicked awesome for you to
Yeah.
come on and share your stories and everything too.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Anytime.
Oh, there was what was the other one there? Black Brook Cemetery there. I did one on that too. You also
Oh yeah.
went there. What'd you find up that way?
A lot. Every time we go there, I think we can just turn our K2 meter on and it will start lighting up. If you, like I say, I'll tell everyone on here to go to our YouTube page, Haunts from the Cape, and just go through and you'll see Black Brook this and Black Brook that. And, there's a lot of, all the EVPs. And there's apparently a witch that's buried there. Still haven't found her yet, but apparently she's out there. But we got one EVP where Doug asked the question. He's like, see that creek bed there? He said, what's over there? And a woman's voice comes through and says, a witch. Clear as day. Yeah. We've been there a lot. I personally have been going there since 1999. But I think just about every time we go there, we get something pretty awesome. We can show up and turn the K2 meters on and they just start spiking. There's certain spots in there that, well, as soon as you ask a question, the K2 meter will just start going wild. And like I say, everyone has their phones on airplane mode or turned off completely. So there's no interference. Very few radio stations out there anyway, which kind of helps. But no, we've got some crazy stuff out there. I was out there one night having a cigarette by one of the graves. And I said, hey, if you want, I'll leave you a smoke, you could have after we leave, just kind of, joking around, not really, obviously not goofing at them, but just saying, well, I'll certainly leave you one. And anyway, this man's voice came through. We didn't hear it at the time, but Doug sent it to me later. A man's voice answered as soon as I was saying that and said, I want to smoke. And it was really drawn out and creepy. So that was a pretty cool one. But apparently there's a witch that's buried out there. A lot of people think it's this certain grave down towards the back. Catherine McIntosh was her name. She's known as the ship captain's wife.
Okay.
It's not the witch's grave, although we hear a lot of people say it is. It's definitely not. We haven't actually found it. People keep telling us they've seen it. We haven't actually laid eyes on it yet. But like I say, Doug's got a cool EVP about, he was asking, see the creek bed there? He said, what's over there? And a woman's voice came back and said a witch. So we've had a few EVPs that specifically say witch. And again, when there's history that mentions a witch and you're in that spot and you get that word, it's pretty cool because in no other location have we heard the word witch. So it's like you're hearing French words in Fortress, makes sense. You're hearing witch at Black Brook, also makes sense because there's a history where there's allegedly a witch buried somewhere there. So certain things like that.
It's it's not known where she's buried at actually.
No, we've never found it. People keep telling us they've seen it and they've been to it, and we ask them, and we've never seen it yet. But the legend lives on. We need Robert Stack from Unsolved Mysteries to help us out with this one. Just keeps going.
Oh, fuck. Maybe when I get home, I'll check it out.
Yeah, oh, for sure. No, man, it's great. It's a lot of fun. And like you say, Blackbrook is one of our favorite spots to do. That'll always be one of the first things that comes up in conversation when someone asks us about a favorite place or cool experiences we've had. That's definitely one of the first places that comes up in conversation.
Yeah, man. It's a busy spot up that way too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you hopping on here, buddy, and telling me all your tales about the hauntings.
I have so many more. We could do a whole series on
Oh yeah, no, that'd be fucking sweet, man.
it. Yeah, no,
Like,
listen, I appreciate you taking the time, and like I say, I'm glad I finally was able to make some time. And yeah, say I jump off here, and I'll probably jump back in the pool and maybe have another drink, and enjoy the rest of the night.
hell yeah, man. You do that
Yeah,
up. Well,
for sure,
thank you
buddy.
very
Listen,
much for your time, man. I'll figure something out here with this, and
yeah.
yeah, we'll get going. That way, maybe we could branch off into another episode. I would really appreciate that.
Hey, man, whenever you want to, I'll come back on for sure. This was awesome. I appreciate you having me.
No worries, brother. You have a safe trip, eh? Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Safe trip, my brain.
A
Have
good
safe
evening.
swim. Have a good evening.
I will, buddy. Take care. Cheers, eh?
Buddy. Cheers.
All right, man. Later. Bye.
Later, bye.
Twisted Tales.